What comes to mind when I mention Hemet, California? Well, to people here in the Temecula Valley, that idea is affordability. That is the affordable area here in Southern California. And so this video is actually going to touch on the cost of living here in Hemet, California. So you can see all things. We're going to talk cost of home prices, utilities, groceries, everything you could think that you need to know about cost of living here in Hemet. We're going to break it all down for you. Let's get to it. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Lewis, your local Temecula Valley realtor, and this channel is dedicated to all things living in the Temecula Valley, from new construction tours to neighborhood spotlights to new things coming here to the Valley. I want you and your family to know exactly what it's like living here before you make the move. Let's get to it. All right, so like I said, we are here to break down the cost of living, all things here in Hemet, and we're going to start off here with a quick look at our utilities costs. So what does it cost? What is your electric bill, your gas bill, your internet bill, trash bill, water bill? What do all those look like? Let's break it all down. Okay, so first up, let's talk about that electric bill. That is going to be the bulk of your utilities here in Hemet and in Southern California, because guess what? It's gonna get hot. You're gonna be running the AC. A lot of things that you operate inside the home are gonna be sucking up electricity, and those Southern California Edison rates are a bit higher than they used to be. So when it comes to the average family here living in Hemet, those prices right now, on average, between $275 to $350 per month for your electric bill. So make sure that you're budgeting that. Now, there are some homes, and as you get bigger in homes and maybe you have multiple AC units or you have a pool or anything like that, you could be spending $450 or more during the summer. So those bills can get pretty high, especially if you've got an older, less efficient type home. So keep that in mind, that depending on the size of the home and how old it is, that can be a little bit higher. Now, what a lot of people do here in the area to supplement that or make that bill a little bit more affordable is they choose to go with some solar panels. And there's many options. We've got videos here on the channel that break down the different options that you've got as far as solar, but a lot of people will put some of those solar panels on and help to bring that bill down. It typically is able to cut that down by about half. So if you are looking and thinking that utility is expensive on the electricity side, then solar panels can certainly help. Next up, we've got your water bill. That would be your second highest bill that you're going to be paying here in the area as far as utilities go, and that can range anywhere from $100 to $180 per month here in the area. Again, just depending on how big your property is and the yard size that you're watering. You're going to water a little bit more in the summer and a little bit less in the winter, so those will just kind of vary depending on the season. Now, we've got Eastern Municipal Water District, and that is who handles the water, and that's who you'll be paying that bill to on a monthly basis. Next up, we've got natural gas. So that's going to be usually what you're cooking with. It's gonna run your water heater and your heating unit inside the house. Maybe if you're using a fireplace here and there on those chilly Southern California nights, then maybe you'll be using some of that gas as well. But that's typically anywhere from $30 to $50 per month. So one of your minor utilities there on the gas side. Now, a fun fact for you here is that if you're buying a brand new construction home, a lot of them are actually completely getting rid of gas, natural gas altogether, and you'll have electric everything. So you can expect to eliminate that gas bill, but then throw up a little bit more on the electricity side of things. Next up is trash. So your trash bill, you've got waste management here in the area. You're typically paying $25 per month, or about $75 per quarter is typically how they bill that. So you can expect about $25 per month for your trash service, and that's gonna cover your trash, your recycling, and yard waste. And last but not least will be your internet service. You've got Spectrum and you've got Frontier. Those would be your two options here in the area. I know there's some alternates that are working their way in as well, but the price for those right now, anywhere between $70 to $90 per month. Now let's move on to talk about your grocery costs. So when we're running these, we are running these numbers for an average family of 4. So maybe 2 adults, 2 children. And so that's where you're gonna get these numbers from. But when it comes to your grocery costs here in Hemet, you can expect to pay anywhere from $250 to $350 per week. So that's gonna work out to $1,000 to about $1,400 per month in those groceries. I'm gonna sound old. I can remember back in the day when it used to cost us like 500 bucks a month in those groceries, but things have changed. But those grocery costs are gonna kind of depend on where you're shopping. There are certainly more budget-friendly options here inside of Hemet that can help keep you on the lower end there. And then you can certainly go to some more expensive grocery stores that they're gonna cost you just a bit more. So you can be a little bit more thrifty with that and maybe be on the lower end or even below that. So that is absolutely an option in the area as well. Now we've got to talk about those Southern California gas prices. So I'm sure that comes to mind when you're thinking about living in Southern California is, oh my gosh, I hear the gas prices are crazy. Well, you're right. We do pay some of the highest gas prices here in the area or in the country rather. And so you're looking at an average price per gallon currently, and I know this changes all the time, so don't quote it right now, but currently at $4.20 to $4.50 per gallon. So can get pretty pricey there. You know, if you're coming from the Midwest or something like that, then you might be paying a fraction of that, and you're going to need to factor that in when it comes to living here in the area, especially if you're living here and you're needing to commute for work. That's certainly something that you want to weigh out. You're gonna need to, kind of track that distance. If you're commuting, 40 miles to work, that's 80 miles round trip. You're gonna go through a tank of gas every single week. What's that gonna cost you? You're gonna wanna calculate that out and factor that in before you end up making a purchase here in the area to know exactly what that gas bill is going to be like. Now let's move on to talk about the average price home here in the area. I know that's what you've been waiting for. Maybe you even fast forwarded to get here, but let's talk about your housing prices. Your average home right now in Hemet, California is just $440,000. That is the most affordable here in the Temecula Valley area. You really can't beat that price. We've got murrieta Temecula that are 700,000, 800,000, 900,000. So this is the affordable pocket here of our valley. So if you're looking for an affordable place to live, Hemet is the place to go, and that's why I said at the beginning of this video, that's why people come here for affordability. So housing prices, $440,000. You can find even less than that. There are options that are going to be in the $300,000 price point here in the area. But your average home being right there at the $440,000 mark, and you can certainly even find $1 million properties in Hemet as well. You're gonna be on some land with some custom built homes. So you can find kind of anything in between, but your average starter home right there in the 400,000s. Now, we'd also be remiss if we did not touch on rental prices. So let's touch on that for a moment. You can find a 1 to 2 bedroom home for rent in Hemet, California for right now between $1,500 and $1,800 per month. So you've got some affordable options on that side. If you're talking your standard single family home, 3 to 4 bedrooms, then you're gonna be pushing anywhere from $2,100 to about $2,800 per month. And of course, you can be $3,000 plus a month, depending on how big you get with that home. So rent prices anywhere from, again, single family home, $2,100 to $2,800 per month. Now let's move on to property taxes. This is super important when it comes to living here in the Temecula Valley. Property taxes vary greatly. You hear me harp on it all the time. I think I touch on it on just about every single video. Property taxes can vary from neighborhood to neighborhood, and they can change drastically. You can be paying $500 a month for the exact same price home simply because of taxes, and that's something you want to watch out for, specifically if you're looking for affordability here in Hemet. Now, the base tax rate for our area is 1.1%, so that is just the lowest you can possibly get, and there is a very large portion of Hemet that is going to fall into that category, more so than most of the rest of the valley, more than Murrieta, more than Temecula, more than Winchester, Wildomar, Lake Elsinore, all of that. So this is the affordable pocket, and a lot of homes are going to fall into that low tax category. However, as you get into some of the newer homes, you are going to be paying a higher property tax rate. You can get all the way up to 2.2 to 2.3%. Now you want to watch out for that. So if you're seeing a brand new home, odds are that that tax rate is going to be like 1.9 to 2.3%. And so I always say the taller the trees, the more mature the neighborhood, the lower the taxes are going to be. And the smaller the trees, the higher the taxes are going to be. If there's no trees, then watch out. So as you're looking at that, that's going to kind of dictate some of those property taxes for you. So I'm giving you these percentages. What do they mean? Basically, take your home price. So let's use the $440,000 average home price. You're going to multiply that by 1.1%. That will tell you what your annual tax bill is. So about $4,500 per year would be your tax rate if you're at the 1.1% range. If you're at the 2% range, that's basically double that. You'd be paying about $9,000 a year in taxes. And so that's a $4,000 increase. You're going to be paying about $350 more per month just for the exact same price home, depending on the tax range for that. So make sure you factor that in before you make a purchase. Now let's also touch for a moment on homeowners association, HOAs. There are quite a few here inside of Hemet, and that's a factor that you're going to want to consider in your monthly budget as well. You can find HOAs here from about $50 to about $150 per month. Completely depends on some of the neighborhoods and the amenities that are offered. You know, you can find a gated community with a pool and spa and clubhouse and all that kind of stuff, and that's going to just be on the higher end of the HOA side of things. You can also find an HOA that basically just takes care of the policing things and handing out notices and all that, and that's going to be on the lower end of things. So anywhere from $50 to $150 per month. However, there are plenty and a lot of neighborhoods actually here in Hemet that don't even have an HOA, so might even be a zero for you depending on where you choose to live. And last but not least, let's touch on homeowners insurance. This one has been a hot button topic for Southern California here over the last few years because it's been getting more and more expensive, and so we have to touch on it here. It's definitely a factor you're going to want to look at before you make the move here and really factor in for your budget. So let's get to that. For the average home here in Hemet right now, your average homeowner's insurance is going to be anywhere from $1,200 to $1,600 per year. Now, I know that there's people in different areas of the country that say, wow, that's super affordable compared to wherever you're coming from. So I know Florida can get crazy in some of those other states, but that is significantly higher than it actually used to be. And it is continuing to increase. As you're in different parts of Hemet, you may fall into a higher fire severity zone, and that's really what our homeowners insurance companies look at here to determine that rate. And if you fall into one of those areas, it can be $2,500 a month or more, depending on the risk that they're assessing with that. So with each individual home, it's very important before you move here to Hemet that you work with a great real estate agent. Oh, hey, we can help you with that. And people reach out to us all the time from the channel for that, so we can absolutely help you. But you want to work with a really great real estate agent that can help you identify what's the property tax rate, because a lot of times they won't tell you until you get your loan documents, and then you see what your real payment is, and you freak out. We're going to tell you right up front. And then you also want to know what that homeowner's insurance will look like, and we partner with a really great broker here in the area that we can help run some of those numbers for you ahead of time so that you know exactly what you're getting into. So we'd love to help you with that. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. All right, so that is it for our cost of living breakdown for Hemet, California. This is the most affordable pocket of the Temecula Valley, one of the most affordable here in Southern California. So if you are looking for a great home price, lowered expenses on just about everything, this is the place for you. Now, there are certainly nicer places to live, but they get less affordable, right? You could certainly have a brand new condo on the beach in San Diego with the most amazing weather in the world, but it's not affordable, right? So that's the balance that you have to weigh out when it comes to living, here in the Temecula Valley or Hemet specifically, is affordability versus where you might not be able to afford some of that, and maybe you've got a better view if you're out by the ocean or out in Temecula wine country or something like that. So some factors for you to weigh out on that. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions about moving to Hemet or the Temecula Valley, or really anywhere here in Southern California, my team and I would be happy to help you. You can reach out to us anytime, as I just mentioned. You can call us, you can text us, you can send an email, or you can even schedule a one-on-one Zoom consultation with us, and you can just click on the description below. Click the link there, it takes you directly to our calendar. You can book some time there. We can hop on that call with you and discuss any questions that you have about moving here to the area, whether you are 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years away from moving, or not even sure if you're going to move. We're happy to answer those questions for you and help you explore if this is the right place for you. And again, if you are looking for an exploratory tour, we can even do that with you. If you're planning on a trip here and you want to come out and see what it looks like, we can drive you around, show you around, and get you an idea of the lay of the land. We're happy to do that for you anytime as well. So thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you next time.